Guys, thanks for joining us. Gaffer, we'll start with you. Tranmere at the weekend. What are your thoughts heading into that one?
Another tough game. Proper football club coming down to us. Known them over the years, and I'm looking forward to the game, to be fair.
You've been full of praise for Tranmere so far this season, and I suppose that the fact we've already played them twice is that we know what we're going to get.
Oh, but do they know what they're going to get?
No, hopefully not.
Well, there you go.
Fair enough. Obviously, it's our finally back at home this weekend after 3 games on the road. I'm sure Tom will tell us more about it in a minute, but have you noticed any fatigue within the players? Because it can't have been easy, you know, travelling 3 on the bounce, and obviously you have no time to train, no time to recover in between these as well.
Well, of course, lads will be tired, but if you can't play 2 or 3 games and there's amount of time that we have, you shouldn't be in football. So that's no excuse for anybody to be tired, because teams have got to come down here and do that. It's the way that you manage the tiredness. The fatigue, is it tired, is it mental tired, is it match tiredness? Remember, we've had all the injuries and everything else over the month, so we've got to try and get some into some boys' legs. It's just a balancing act.
You mentioned those injuries there. Obviously, there's been a lot of chat about how big our squad is. But when you consider the injuries, I mean, we had a chat beforehand and we've wrote these down. When you consider Jordan Tunnicliffe, Kwesi Appiah, Caleb Watts, Will Ferry, Ludwig Frontelet, Jake Hessenthaler, Archie Davies, Owen Gallagher, and players coming back from COVID, people say we have a big squad, but we're not really left with a lot to pick with.
And that's you going through that now. You imagine you've got to do that when you pick a side, and you're worried about if any of the boys get a knock. And it's hard to convince people that you're not picking them for other reasons than looking after them, because you don't want them to get long-term injuries. And it has been hard. And I think Tom's been in more positions and Mary Millerton, I think, at the moment. And no, it's the same, isn't it? You play where you picked, and it's the way that we've done it. It's a credit to the boys that we are where we are. But you don't moan about it because nobody listens, because everyone's an expert.
Yeah, and obviously you mentioned Tom there, obviously playing in all those different positions. There is Tom there. Yeah. Playing in all those different positions. When you look at Tuesday night, perhaps we needed some, you know, more fresh legs coming up front. We didn't have a recognised attacker on the bench. You look at Stevenage, obviously they've brought Norris on, you know, he scored the winner. You know, how difficult is it been managing the side?
What, with no money and no extra bodies to be putting on and no extra players to come in? Oh, easy.
That's how you want to put it.
Yeah, anyone can do it.
And if you... Sorry, no. Just touching on the fans, obviously you mentioned them after the game anyway, great support on Tuesday night, and I'm sure you'll be delighted that they'll be back here in their numbers on Saturday.
I'll be delighted when they're back here when we win, or we put on a good performance. It wasn't me moaning about the performance. Tom will elaborate a little bit more. We're letting stupid goals in, so all the work that the boys are doing out there, to be suddenly undone by things that can be stupid, absolutely stupid, it annoys you. If you're getting opened up and it's a good goal against you, you hold your hands up. But I'm sure he'll tell you, and the rest of the lads, to be fair, will tell you. No one goes out there to make a mistake. But we seem to be, you know, you've got to score 8 goals before you win a game, it seems sometimes. And, you know, everyone keeps telling me, you see the highlights of the game, whoever works for these BBCs and all that, and editing all these things, it looked like we was getting absolutely battered. Wasn't under pressure, I don't think, unless we put ourselves under it. I thought we had loads of chances to win 3 games.
On a separate note, brilliant news coming out today. Glen Morris has signed a new contract. How delighted are you to secure his services for at least another year?
Not really bothered, to be honest. Of course I'm delighted. He's every goalkeeper, it stems back when I first got into football. Brian Clough used to say all the time about Peter Shilton, he was worth 25-30 points a season to him. And a good goalkeeper like he has kept us in games, he's worth that.
And Nico, obviously, we've mentioned the fatigue there. How hard have you found it over the last 3 games? Obviously, you've been forced to play all the 90 minutes. You know, how has it been for you?
Yeah, I suppose it's tough, but it's just nature of the beast, really. It was a lot harder last year when we had Saturday, Tuesday for pretty much the whole season, it felt like. But no, it is tough, physically demanding, but it's just something you've got to live with and deal with as a footballer, and you wouldn't moan. It's good that you're playing, so yeah, I won't moan about it, but yeah, it's a tough part, Saturday, Tuesday, but I enjoy night games, so yeah, I'm not really complaining.
Yeah, and obviously we've spoke about the amount of games that we've got, but another goal for you on Tuesday night, it must feel good to just sort of kick on and give you some more encouragement heading into this really busy schedule, especially when we look ahead to March. Obviously it's a way away now, but we've got 4 home games on the bounce here, so you just got to be excited to just start hitting some form, I suppose. Yeah,
I feel like I'm playing pretty well at the moment, and the goal involvements are picking up. Because at the start of the season I wasn't really involved in enough goals. So yeah, I definitely think my performances are starting to pick up now, and I'm feeling fitter and stronger, and sort of my performances are improving by the game really, which is good news.
And I suppose it's good for you that you've actually started playing consistent games this year. Obviously, at the start of the season, you obviously had that shoulder injury that kept you out for a while, and then it's tough to get back in the side. But you're playing consistently now, 90 minutes. It just must feel really good to be back out there playing your best.
Yeah, I mean, the shoulder injury knocked me back probably further than I thought it was going to initially. Like when I come back, I was still getting the odd pains and stuff. But no, I hopefully, touch wood, I'm over that now, and like I said in the previous question, I'm feeling stronger and sharper, and I'm really I'm enjoying the football again. Because when I'm not playing like I was last year, it's not as fun to be out there when you're not doing the things that you were last year. So yeah, I'm feeling a lot better and looking forward to a strong end to the season really.
And obviously, as the gaffer said, you've played in plenty of positions this year. How have you been finding it, having to build a new relationship? Well, I suppose it's a stem relationship from last season with you, Sam Matthews, and that as just sort of reigniting that after Kwesi's unfortunately out with injury.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I've had partnerships with Nadders and Sam from last year, so that was pretty natural just to fit back in, and he's obviously set me up for a couple of my goals. But yeah, partnerships sometimes click, sometimes they don't, but they seem to be working, and Kwesi's been brilliant for us, and I really enjoy playing with Kwesi, but he's picked up a knock, but I'm sure he'll be back soon, and he'll be back helping us out on the pitch soon.
Yeah, the fans have been delighted with your performances in recent weeks, and I don't know if you've noticed, you've got your own chant now as well, especially after last season where we've mentioned before you didn't play with the fans. It must just be good to hear them chant your name. Yeah,
it's really nice. I get a lot of love and support from the fans, which I'm very grateful for, and makes me feel very loved, and it helps me play better, and it is nice when you hear them singing your name in the crowd. And yeah, they support us really. They always support us really well, but they were really loud the other night, and it was a real shame we couldn't get them at least a point for their efforts.
Your post-match interview's got quite a lot of attention on social media from Tuesday night. Do you ever regret what you say, or do you just think honesty is the best policy going forward?
No, don't regret anything, because Tom will tell you what we say in the dressing room stays in the dressing room. But if people want me to come out and talk a lot of old twaddle just to please them and make you look all smiley jolly, no. So if you either be honest, because there's certain managers out there that just tell players and tell everybody else what they want to hear. And I won't name names, but well, I will do later on, I think. But if I go into Tom and can't look at him or anybody in the eyes, and then come out in the paper and he picks something up or hears something, and he goes, that's completely different what he's told me, as he has done in the past, as I've had done to me in the past, you can't trust anybody. And I'd like to think the one thing that we can do all down there, good or bad, is trust each other. Yes, you go up your rows. I'm not saying I'm right all the time, but 99.9% of the time I am, because I'm the silly one who's got to come out and face everyone and defend them. But Tuesday, I don't know why everybody they could see what I can see, and if people are trying to dress up that we could have done this, no, we made two mistakes, we didn't compete well enough, and we let 2 goals in against a very, 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 very average side.
Yeah, so you see, I mean, you were on a brilliant run for Tuesday night, but it's just a minor blip, you see.
We're still on a brilliant run. Don't underestimate losing one game in, what was it, 6 or 7? I don't know what people are expecting. We've had more injuries than the hospital up the road. And people are moaning because you go away to Stevenage, who are fighting for their survival, who are spending money like it's going out of fashion, and got better players, i.e. paid wise, than what we've got, and we can't compete. We turn up and we compete every game. When we don't, that's what happens. But it's nice to be able to look on the bench and say, well, we've got X, Y, Z to come on, like they have, and they've spent a few quid doing it. We don't care. You get on to the next one. You've got to keep, the fans and everybody know, the real fans, the fans that turn up every week knows what's going on here and knows what we're playing with and knows what budget we got. We can't moan about budgets and that because that ain't going to change, but sometimes it don't affect your decisions you've got to make. And it's a compliment to Tom and the lads, the so-called better players that are here, and getting all the recognition. We're still mid-table. We're mid-table with, I think, second or third from bottom budget. And we've got so many injuries that you could fill 2 sides. And then people wonder. Go on. No, go on.
I was just going to say, is there any update on the extent of Caleb?
Yeah, Caleb's out for 3 months.
3 months? Oh, that's obviously quite upsetting news for you.
It is. He played 17 minutes, bless him. I spoke to him this morning, and he may have to have surgery. So Southampton have been decent with it, and they're dealing with it at the moment. I've got to sort that out when I come off of here. But that's the sort of thing. That's the sort of thing we're having. As Tom said, we're losing Tom for the games at the beginning of the season. We won a few, though, didn't we? And you're losing Jordan, and you're losing key players from last year for long term. Essie's out now, and Sam Matthews was out for a while. It takes, Tom will tell you better than anyone, especially in their position, it takes you a month sometimes to get your touch back. And the last thing they need is me screaming and hollering and hooting at them from the side to do things. Well, that's what your job is. You've got to keep them at it. You try and be fair to the lads, because I know what they're trying to do for us. They ain't going out there to mess about. They've got their own careers to worry about. It's only when people...
Have to dip into the loan market again before the deadline day?
I don't think we can even go down the fruit market, let alone the loan market. I don't know is the answer to that. I'd like to think we could, but I don't know.
Fair enough. And you've talked about Tranmere being a proper football club and that, visiting on Saturday. What do you mean by that? What makes them a proper football club as opposed to someone who isn't a proper?
Because they're run by football people. Supporters up there know their football. I've spent, I nearly in the, I don't know if it was 70s or the 80s when Frank Worthington and all that. It's always been a place where you go and enjoy yourself. And I think up there, you win or lose, you get your average donut like you do everywhere. But the majority of them know what they're talking about. They want to see a footballing side. And I just think they're run properly. You know, they're good people up there. They've got good people. The manager and everyone, they're football people. They know what you're talking about. They ain't worrying about who's got what and who's got that. They're all about the football, and you can talk honest football with them.
I imagine you're hoping for a similar performance in your last home game on New Year's Day.
I can't remember that.
Colchester.
Was it Colchester? Oh yeah, yeah, love that. Yeah, 3-1. So we've had so many. See, Tom has to remind me. Remember, I'm getting old a bit now as well. You ask George here.
Thanks, John. Niall, if you want to go and speak to Tom.
Sure. Hi Tom, can you hear me?
Hello, mate. Yeah, all good.
Okay. Right, so Nada said in the build-up to the Stevenage game that the new formation with you and Sam Matthews bring the best out of each other. How much are you enjoying playing with them in the top three?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely suiting us at the moment. My goals, Nada's goals, has improved in that shape. So yeah, I do enjoy that. It gets more bodies up the pitch. We're all closer together. So yeah, it's been a good change. Like the form's definitely improved since we've gone towards that. Doesn't mean we won't change to a different one in the near future. You'll have to ask the gaffer that. But yeah, like it's working at the moment, and the results have picked up. So yeah, hopefully we can continue building on that and keep pushing up the league.
It's then about the club's form. You've scored 2 in the last 3, 2 excellent goals, really.
Thank you.
Is that an indication of you hitting top form?
I wouldn't say I'm at 100%. No, I think you can always improve, always score more goals. But yeah, I'm playing well at the moment, and my last 2 have been nice finishes from a personal level. I've enjoyed watching them back. So yeah, I'm starting to hit my stride, I'd say, for sure.
As you know, Glen has pinned down the new one-year deal. How do you sum Glen up on and off the pitch? Glen,
brilliant goalie. He's saved us many points this year. He made a few big saves the other night as well. Yeah, he's kicking on a bit, but I'd say he's not done by any stretch. Very agile still. Great with the boys. The boys all love him. And I'm glad he's got another contract, because he's one of the best goalies in the league for sure. And he just keeps on going.
Yeah, deserved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Saturday sees you back at home as well. How important of a home crowd to you?
Yeah, everyone loves playing in front of the home crowd. Brings a better atmosphere. Always different than when you're away. But yeah, they make a lot of noise for us, and we haven't been. Obviously, we won the last game against Colchester, but our form had definitely dipped at home, and we need to pick that back up and start stringing some wins together. Really.
You weren't too happy midweek. You talked about sort of silly mistakes, really. I mean, you've been very proud of the lads generally. How's sort of things picked up after Tuesday's defeat? Are you a little sort of more, you're seeing it from a slightly wider picture heading into a big game this weekend?
Yeah, the wider picture is when you look at them, they're even more stupid than mistakes. And the boys, you're always proud of the boys because they'll always give you what they're going to give, but you can't keep doing and making excuses for making mistakes. You don't make mistakes, you win games. Tom misses 7 chances and scores 1. He's had a great game. Defenders don't win 1 tackle and they go in and score. They've had a bit of a bad game. It's the pressures. It's the pressures of that's what you play football for. You play football for the good and the bad. But we can't keep relying and can't keep making excuses for making silly mistakes. And on top of that, you know what? You pick the paper up and you get beat 2-1. Tom's down in the dumps, I'm down in. Everyone's got the hump. Well, what do you expect me to do? Come out juggling a load of balls and saying how great we are and walking around with clown shoes on or something? We're happy. We all feel it. I feel it for what these feel.
Is Tranmere at home the perfect game in a way? You do rise to the occasion with the bigger sides, haven't you? For a number of seasons since you took over.
I don't know what the bigger sides are. This is another thing that baffles the life out of me. What is a bigger side and what is it? Because they're higher up the league, but we're playing every side that we play is bigger than us. And you're playing sides that have been football league sides for years sometimes. Tranmere always going to give you a tough game, always well supported club, all the things that you want to hear. They're a proper football club. But so are we, in our way that we prepare. We try and prepare them the best and put the best side out. So I think Tranmere might be looking forward to playing us.
The word for Tom Nichols alongside you, he's picked up where he left off, really, isn't he? He's had to be patient and he's rewarded you and some. Not
really, because he should be scoring a lot more.
True.
See, he agrees with that. Though, listen, there's a bit of a thing going around. The boys are here because they want to play with the football club, and we all want to do well. And Tom and Tony, a lot of them, they're honest pros, good or bad. You might not hear what you want to hear sometimes, but that's why I brought them here. I don't bring them here because they're wrong uns. He could have had his cigar still on and made out he was injured. He's not like that. I know you've got to pull them back to stop them playing more than forcing them. And that rubs off on people. Except that when we're where we are at the minute, we need soldiers like that to come in. And Tom now being a senior pro, even though he ain't in age-wise, he is in experience and in his head. And that helps. He must, obviously he's enjoying it, otherwise he wouldn't be here. But don't forget, all the while that he's doing what he's doing, there's other clubs looking at him. And there's other clubs doing what we do. We've got to do the best that you can as a football club, make sure that he's welcome. That's winning games. We want to get up the league. We don't want to be stuck down here doing nothing all the time. We want to be challenging for things. That's why I get the hump. But then what do I know?
Tom, do you feel a more experienced senior player at the club now? Do you feel you have a responsibility on and off the pitch?
Yeah, I do actually. It's probably the first time in my career, the last year or two, I've felt like one of the more senior players amongst the squad, and I really enjoy it. I like to help the team. I like to help other people. I might moan at them sometimes, at times, but that's just because I want to win, and I think the boys appreciate that, and yeah, I do really enjoy that part of the role, really.
Let me just say on that, Tim, right? People look at experience because of your age. Tom's got the experience, and people look up to him because he's a good player, first and foremost. And Kaz, he's got a good reputation for scoring goals and his work rate. That's why people look at him as an experienced player, because we've got players in our side or players in our squad that have been involved since we've been in that would know we could lace his boots. That's my take on it. And to keep players like this at the club, we want to attract more. We don't want to get rid of them. So we've got to improve as a football club. So don't undersell what he's saying. It's not all about your age that gives you experience. Look at him and he's an example to the others to follow. Some of them can never follow that, but that's what you aim for. You aim to be the best. If you keep aiming to be average, you know what? You become average, don't you? Start working for the BBC.
Tom, there's nothing like seeing experience around you as well. Some of the defenders, Glen Morris, of course, the keeper. I mean, there is experience across the squad now that John and Lee are building. Yeah,
there is. I mean, we've got a real core group of, like you said, experienced, strong characters amongst the boys, which is what we need, really, because we do have a lot of young players as well, and we need to guide them. And the likes of Tony Craig, George Frankham, Joel Lynch, it's a really good core group of players there that really work hard at the game and have played a lot of games for it. So yeah, we try as best as we can to lead by example on and off the pitch.
And for personal pressure, there's a real chance you could feature in the playoffs this season. Do you feel your goals are going to have to be part of that? Do you like that pressure, and do you agree with that? Yeah,
absolutely. I know I need to keep on scoring goals and improve on scoring goals, score more than I have been. And yeah, I enjoy that. I think that's what strikers, you get the glory when you score, and you're the villain when you don't. Really, that's just the game, really. So yeah, I do enjoy that pressure, and I definitely think we've got the squad to get up there. Well, I know we have the team we've beaten, and we're more than a match for everyone in the league. So we just need to stay on a consistent run, and we can get up there for sure.
As a player, do you relish a visit like Tranmere at the weekend?
Yeah, really tough. It'll be a really tough game. They're a tough team. Are they second now?
Second.
Yeah, they've got probably the best defensive record in the league as well. So yeah, it's always a battle against them, and we've lost to them twice this season. We did well against them last year. So yeah, we have really good games against them. I think they'd probably say the same about us as well. We're tough opponents to play, and yeah, so it should be a really good game.
John, you may have been asked a quick word on the new contract for Glen Morris, announced later this afternoon.
Yeah, as I said before, good goalkeeper's worth 25 odd points to your season, and I think Glen over the season anyway will give us that. And you can't experience. We're talking about that again. He's still one of the fittest, agilest goalkeepers that you can come across. Plus, he's a good character. And Tom will tell you, I think the players defend the injuries that we got as well, because we haven't been able, and it's no discredit to anybody, if we get the actual 11 or 12 that we want out on that pitch, we haven't had the chance to do that this year. And it would be a difficult decision because we have got some good players there, and some would be upset. But we would have to be good for once, just to have a whole squad to pick from. And I'm not just talking about missing one or two, and I think Tom will back me up. We've had regular 5 to 7 players out every week since we started that you can't pick, who would normally be in the 16. Right, Tom, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
But there you go. You get on with it, didn't you?
Is it sometimes underestimated how much someone like a Glen Morris will work to be that agile, to be that fit, to be able to get down? As he matures, it's a constant job, isn't it, John, for a goalkeeper?
Well, it's enjoyment. If you get to a certain age and you're still fit and you're getting picked, we all have to go there sometimes, but play as long as you can. Keep yourself as fit as you can. And Glen's like that. His enthusiasm, 99% of it, isn't it? If you're enjoying doing something, you're going to do it even more. And Glen does that. But once again, it's like Tom. It's like some of them. You've got to pull the reins on them sometimes, because Tom still plays like he's a kid in the playground. Give him a football and they run around to whoever. And it's good enthusiasm. Lynchy's the same. Tony's the same. They don't like losing. They don't even like losing the first one out the dressing room. So that's what you want to, and that creates it to the young uns. You've got to set the so-called younger players, good pros to look up to. You don't want to all go pros in it, going out nightclub in it and bird in it and all that. You just leave that to the staff.
I don't know if this is going live. I was going to mention someone else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who's in a rather important house with a certain number on the door. But
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No worries,
mate.
thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers, Tim.